Okay. Morning, folks. This is Corey Babka from the Marks group. Sorry, I'm just making sure that our webinar is all set. We've changed our systems over the last couple months, and so therefore, every once in a while we want to make sure we get everything set. So what we're looking at today is this is the Salesforce tips and tricks webinar from the Marks group. We do this monthly. We do this, let's see, I'm making sure that I see what you see. I'm always fumbling, and I apologize for that. Basically what we're looking at today, this is Salesforce.com's tips and tricks. These are our tips that were posted in the end of September, early October blog pages of the Marks group, marksgroup.net, marksgroup.net. This right here would be our webinar that we do a few weeks later. We do these every month to kind of go over live what we went into the blog, those pages themselves. We actually upload these recordings to our YouTube channel, so you can always look at those. But I appreciate you attending today. I know there's a little bit of a mix-up with schedule. Apologies for that. But most of you, I think, are going to be watching this on YouTube, so that being said, we're okay. So I just want to, without further ado, just want to kind of jump right into the tips and tricks. Basically what we're looking at today is email templates and how to work with email templates, how to use them as a one-off, how to do a mail merge, all those different things here. If I'm looking off to my left at times, that is actually because I'm looking at the blog page to make sure I stay on script. I don't want to confuse things because basically you can always look back to last month's blog pages to find those and find your Salesforce.com tips to go through what we're looking at. So if you're looking at video, you're looking at the page, the blog, hopefully it'll make sense. Okay? So basically let's just start right into it. What we're looking at is going into creating the email templates. And how I always do it is I start with setup, and I'm going to go here and I'm always going to look and I'm going to do template. It's my easiest way to do things. Don't hit enter. When you do enter, you get that whole other search screen for setup, and it gets all kind of goofy. I'm going to go here and go to email templates. Okay? And so from our email templates, I have all my unfiled email templates. You'll see I have a bunch going on in here. A lot of them are samples. That's fine. A lot of these are contact follow-ups. I've got other ones that are fall, general, gold mine, and those are, if you know me, I do a lot of different quarterly email blasts, reaching out to everybody based on their product, based on who they are, what are the different product that they use that we work with, and we go from there. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click a new template just to make sure that we're starting from scratch. I'm going to go in here. I choose text, HTML, or custom. Okay. I'm actually going to do an HTML. Right. No big deal. And then so here is this letterhead that you can do this. Actually, I'm probably going to go back and do simple text, but because it has, you must have an active letterhead, right? An active letterhead is going to be that bar at the top, and there's a bar at the bottom, footer, header, whatever it is. We've even got what kind of layout do you want for your email. So you can see there's some nice templates that we can actually put in here, company logos, so on and so forth. Okay, I'm going to go back and I'm going to do a text one, and the reason why I do that is because I don't always, in my role at the company here, I don't do a lot of marketing type emails. I do general one-off emails. I email blast maybe 100 contacts. It's not a constant contact MailChimp type style of email, right? It's just more of a just checking in, wanting to see if things are going well, etc., etc. And that's what it is. Sometimes I find less is more, so the simpler I keep it, the more responses I get, because people feel like I am actually reaching out, and I am, and I do reach out, and I do customize these a little bit, and I'll send them out here and there, but and we'll talk about the one-offs in a little bit, but I don't want it to sound boilerplate marketing shtick, that type of thing when I send it. Okay, so basically what we've got is, if we go through here, I'm going to scroll down a little bit, and I've got the email template name, and we're going to call this webinar test template. Okay. Unique name is the database name, as normal, right? There's a description: used only for a webinar when doing the tips. Okay. Subject: welcome to the webinar. Okay. And I'll say here, Dear, I'm going to leave that blank for a second. We'll come back to it. Let's say, just wanted to welcome you and thank you for signing up. Here's a link to the address that you need to attend. Whatever it is, right? I'm also going to do something here. Hopefully, I'm going to show you what I've got in my system. Hopefully this will help with your, and I'm going to leave that blank with a period. I'll put my name. Okay, and if I want to put a signature and all that, I can put that in there, and I put all my phone number and all that kind of stuff. It's like a typical email. What's important though is if I'm doing this here, I'm actually going to go through and I'm going to is more of the customization and the let's call it the dynamicness of the email template. Because an email template could just be, dear customer, you know, we hope that you're doing well, just wanted to reach out to you and say, hey. But instead, if you say, dear Joe, dear Sally, dear Sue, dear Melissa, you know, that's where you can get the dynamic nature and you start to customize a little bit more. That's why I left those two spots blank, okay? So if I wanted to do that, what I'm looking at is I would go here, and just so you know, these are the different folders that I could put things in, okay? But if I wanted to, I would go to this and say, all right, I need to put in here the first name. So scroll back up, and this is where you see the available fields. So here's my contact fields. Okay, that's fine. I can do account fields. I'll show you that in a second. So here's my contact fields. And I've got first name. Boom, there it is. Now, it doesn't do anything except highlight. There's no insert button. So all you have to do is right-click copy or Control-C, and I put it right in here. Yep, sorry about that. I'm just going to do Control-V just to keep things straight. So now I've got dear contact first name. That's going to be a dynamic field pull from the actual contact record when it gets sent. Now down here, I can say I hope this will help with your, and then I'm going to go to the account level, and I have a product field in the account level. It's a custom field, but it's called down here, custom fields, product. And so with that, I can copy that and put it in here and say, I hope everything is right with your, and it would be Salesforce, Zoho, MSCRM, Goldmine, whatever it is, right? That's what you're going to have there, okay? So that's important to note, that you have account, the product, and this. So now it's a dynamic system. It's a dynamic email, is what it is, right? And I save it, and now I've got an email. Now I could test it. If I wanted to test it, I can do that. And this is actually a very useful one. If you do the test and verify, it actually asks you to look it up, and it will say, like, I can do like Corey here and look for Corey as a test record. And I can say Corey Babka, and I'll say send the email preview to me instead, and it will populate the record, right, is what it will do. Okay, so that I can actually do it for a couple different test records if I wanted to, and go from there. But the contact is who it wants first, okay? But it will come to you, you can see it, and you're actually seeing how it merges those fields together without actually sending out 100 emails to see if any of them got messed up, okay? So that's what it is there. And that kind of ends tip number 1. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go to tip number 2. Like I said, looking over on my blog just to make sure that I'm keeping in straight with you. Okay, now tip number 2 is using this and excuse me, email blasting a series of records. Okay, so at this point, and I'm going to do this without doing it. I don't want to really send out an email blast this morning, but where we start, since we've already got the email template made. Now we just go to the contact area. And down below, most of us, when we're dealing with Salesforce, we're looking at views, birthdays, contacts, whatever it is, right? And we hit go. But down below, there's some interesting tools. There's import accounts and contacts, sync to Outlook, mass delete, okay? We've also got mass email contacts. So if I click that, this is what it goes through here. Now, what it's going to do first is it's going to ask you, it's going to say, who's the view, okay? You can actually create a new view, or you can use an existing view. Now these views, unfortunately, are not in tune with our contact views. They're not these guys here, right? They're not these. If you notice, I've got primary contacts, etc., but over here, I've got CRM, Salesforce, Zoho, Goldmine, all this, right? It's not the same thing, okay? So to get those, I had to create a new view. Let's go into here, though, and edit this guy, right? So if I edit this one, you can see that I've got the last update. This is a field that I kind of do there. What's the account type? If they're a primary contact on the contact level, okay? Because you can do a little bit filter. What you can do, what's interesting about these views, is you can actually grab, it's based on the contact, because again, we're mass emailing contacts, but it actually looks to account level data as well. Okay, there's contact fields, there's account fields. So I can kind of pull from both places and actually move it into a custom view for this. So I've got account last update is there, account, meaning that if I don't want to email blast out, if I talk to this person and I'm email blasting, but this person already got an email from me or a phone call the other day, then the last activity will kind of shed them out of this view, right? So I've got the type, I've got primary contact, I've got product, right? And that's what I've got. That is my view, okay? And if I look at that, if I say go, okay, it's going to show me everybody that's in there. And you're going to see that there is just that. So I'm going to do this instead. We're going to do a, let's go look over here. We're going to do test company, Mary Test, Joe. Yeah, we're not going to do that one. We're going to do a contact where the contact last name is like Joe. I'm just going to send my personal email. Okay. Joe Test. Don't worry about all that fill-in stuff. That's Google Chrome going nuts. All right, so I've got Joe Tester, ABC Company. Let's see if there's any other contacts in there. We can use this. There's only Joe, okay? So I'm going to do this. We're going to create a new view, and I'm going to say test view only. I'm going to say all contacts, and I'm going to say that the account name equals ABC Company. Okay? I can say save it, and there's only one, which is fine. That, for our purposes, that's all we need, right? And so, and this is my personal email. So I'm going to say next here, and so you can change that. You can do that view. You can do whatever you want. There's a lot to look at in the view there. So next, right now, what I'm going to do is now it will tell me which one do I want to use. Okay, and I should have mine's missing, and the reason why mine's missing is because I did not activate it yet. So let's go back. One thing I forgot to do is see. This is why I stick with the blog pages. I forgot to do this. If I go to my templates. Email templates right here, and I go to my webinar test template. See how it's not active? See that checkbox? That's the killer, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to take this guy here, and we are going to edit this. And basically at the bottom, I need to say, or it was right here, available for use. Okay, I forgot to check that box. Wow. Big checkbox to miss, okay? So now I save it, and now I can go back to here, and we can do this. We can even previous and then go next again. So here's my view again, test view only, go next. Now I should see my webinar test template. And it can even allow me to preview it. Like, let's say you forgot, what does it look like? Oh yeah, this is what it looks like there, that's the one I want to do. It just lets you, before you kind of hit that trigger to blast it out, it would make sure that you can actually check it and see you know, that the date, if there's a date field, there's some mentioning of an upcoming trade show that's 6 months ago, that's a problem, right? So I say next, right? And here we go. Now, our final options, right? BCC me on one message. You could. That just means that when it goes out for the first message, I'll also get a copy to kind of let me know that it went. I don't really need that. Store an activity. That I do. Okay, because I like to store the activity because it logs in the activity for each contact that they got it, and it goes into their activity history, closed activities. I want it there. It doesn't save the body of the email. It only sends out things that says email blast sent, and it tells you the subject of the email. Okay, I don't need my signature, but it does ask for the mass email name. This is what goes into history. So if I say testing webinar email template. And I can even say something like October 2016. Okay, something like that. And I can do send now, or I can schedule it. This is key. Sometimes I will load these up on a Friday or a Saturday morning or a Sunday morning or something like that, and I get it done over the weekend. I will schedule it to go out Tuesday at 10 a.m., right? Maybe Monday at 11 a.m., Wednesday. You know, there are days that emails are best received. Those are the types of things that you can schedule, which is really, really nice. Okay, you can pick a date and a time and do it. I'm going to say send now, and I'm going to send it. Okay, congratulations, I'm done, and it should have finished and went there. Now, if I go to ABC Company, and I go to the activity history, there it is, my mass email used only for a webinar when doing the tips. Okay, that's what I did there. Now, if I go to my Outlook, let me just go here, see if I get something. Not seeing it yet, but we'll give it a second and see when it comes out. The only thing you're waiting for a lot of times with Outlook or with Salesforce is that they send it when they're good and ready. So you can say send it right now, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen right away. Okay, and here endeth tip 2. Okay, so tip 3, what we're doing is we're going a little bit further down. This is where I find it important, the next piece, and I think this is what I hope that you do take the first 2 tip areas that we've talked about. We've talked about the creating your own template and then mass email. But let's not talk about mass email if we're talking about our general users. Our general users, we don't necessarily want to mass email. We want to kind of come through marketing as a distinct initiative, you know, an organized initiative. But some of these templates we're creating, we could do as a one-off email, right? Meaning that I could create for my team of users a series of emails that I think is a good reply format, or thanks for spending time with me today. Here's some information about our company and what we do. Here's a couple links to our website and some documents, etc., etc. Anyone that's sending emails all day long knows that a lot of times we're sending the same email, especially in sales. You're sending the same email over and over and over and over again. So you need to create the email template, which we already did. But we're skipping step 2, and we're not going to do a mass email, where instead we're going to go to the 3rd tip, which is the what I like to call the one-off email, right? So if I go back to, let's go to Joe again. Let's see if my email came in. There it is. So this is my email that came in. It says, Dear Joe, just want to make sure, welcome you to the webinar, and thank you for signing up. Here's the link, blah, blah, blah. Hopefully this will help you with your Goldmine Premium. Remember, this right here and this, those were our 2 items that were dynamic to the email template, okay? I just delete that and go back to Salesforce, okay? And so we're looking at here, that's fine. And so what we're going to do instead is we're going to go to the contact area. Let's go back to Joe. Here he is. And so, you know, we do this a lot where we log a call, things like that. But I like to do send an email, okay? If I send an email, I have the ability here. You can just send an email. That's not a problem, okay? But I can also do it where I select the template. And I can say, you know what? I want that test template. And now look what happened. Automatically changes it. It says, Dear Joe, Goldmine Premium, this already merges. And what's nice about this is I can say, hope the kids are well and everything else is good with you. Okay, now I might not put that there. Right? Okay, so I can do that. Or I can do something instead that would be like, also in regards to our talk last month, let me know when you want to discuss reporting options. Okay, something along those lines, right? We could relate it. It's going to be to Joe already. We can pick the related account, but the thing is it's already related to Joe, so that's going to roll up to the account as well. This is more like if you want to relate it to a quote, an order, an opportunity, okay? But I've got, it's going to BCC me, which is more of a setting. You don't have to do that, but it's a setting. But I've got it going to Joe, and it's from me, okay? And I can do a couple different emails if I wanted to. I could do the company-wide as well. I can attach a file. But the bottom line is I saved myself all that typing, okay? And I can do that because I have a template. And if I want to have the same message, a consistent message coming out from all of my sales team, from created by a marketing person, right? For instance, that wants to throw in there, don't forget to mention this and this and this. Like you could put in a PS at the bottom or whatever it is. Like PS, come visit our at our trade show booth next month. But that's what we would do. I would say here, I'm going to send it to Joe, and I say send, and now that email is gone. And if I look at the email history, it would be right here, same thing. So I've got that mass email and the welcome to the webinar. If I go to ABC Company, we should see the 4 history items because there's the welcome to the webinar we just did. Okay, it's not related to an account, but the thing is truthfully, it doesn't really matter because Joe is, so therefore it's going to roll up, right? Now, and then in my email, I should get that same thing. If I do this again and I look, right, that email should come in. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Right? There it is, and there's my email. And it says, also in regards to our talk last month, let me know. Yeah, so it's different from the actual email blast. That's what's important. That one-off email thing, that's key to just getting things out the door. You know, just getting that same consistent message. If you find yourself copying and pasting the same email body 4 different times because you're cold calling, you know, an email template is the way to do it. Okay, so that's it for now. My email address is corey@marksgroup.net. You might have seen it in some of the other clips there. corey@marksgroup.net. If you have any questions, problems, concerns, anything you want to follow up on with this and how this one works, don't hesitate to reach out. Okay, thanks for attending, and have a great day. Bye-bye now.